Do not allow situations to incarcerate your mind. Do not allow a situation to hold you hostage. You're not a hostage to that situation. The situation has come, it will go. Don't give your whole life to it. Pain pushed me into purpose.
What I may be looking for, it's not what the audience will hear. Whatever you say might have some kind of inspirational word in it that will captivate someone out there. Good afternoon or good day. We are back at the Missing Piece podcast. And today we have no other person but Dr. Stacey Bulluck. Dr. Stacey Bulluck, I met in Paris at the Women's Global Conference where we connected. She gave me that beautiful welcoming smile and I accepted it. We started talking, we conversed, and we connected. And today I have her here at my podcast at the Missing Piece. Let me tell you a little bit more about Dr. Bulluck's background. Dr. Bulluck is a global leader, trainer, the owner and founder of Power in Resilience, workforce development and life coach agency. Dr. Bulluck provides workforce development training and individual life skill training through coaching agency. She is the president and CEO of Ordered Step Incorporated, nonprofit serving homeless women and formerly incarcerated women veterans. A best-selling author of 5 spiritual self-help books, Dr. Bulluck is currently working on a 6th book titled Life Season. She is a transformation speaker, certified John Maxwell leader coach, a civil servant, an ordained evangelist, a host of tools for every living television show on scene on YouTube and all social media platforms. Dr. Bulluck received an honorary doctorate in December 2023, along with a Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. Dr. Bulluck received a first Community Impact Achievement Award from a social group who served in Los Angeles, California community. She's an honoree for the annual 2023 Women Supporting Sister Pink Carpet honoree for a service to veterans in Long Beach, California. Dr. Bulluck is an Army veteran, having served a little under 18 years, where she advanced to the rank of Staff Sergeant. She is a medical discharge. She was medically discharged after enduring an injury while serving in Sinai, Egypt. She's a compassionate individual whose mission is to help others reach full potential through the power of resilience. Dr. Bulluck earned her Bachelor's of Science in Psychology in May 2010 from the University of Maryland, Maryland College Park. Dr. Stacey is an igniter and has helped others to transform their lives for over 30 years. As an advocate for unhoused population, Dr. Bulluck served as an active board member for the Christian Outreach in Action, a nonprofit organization in existence for 40 years who is dedicated to transform the lives of homeless and impoverished individuals in Long Beach, California. She is their workforce development trainer and instructor. She also serves on the board of the Straight Outer Compton Kitchen, whose mission is to serve as an advocate for people within homeless community by providing healthy alternatives and funds to help eradicate homelessness. As a coach, Dr. Bullock knows the importance of empowering others and igniting their capacity to be resilient. She is a she is a plethora of modalities to enhance the lives of underserved population. Dr. Bullock resides in New Kearney, Texas, which is the Houston metropolitan area. She has two adult children and two beautiful grandchildren who continue to live in the East Coast. In her spare time, she enjoys photographing, creating abstract art, and spending time on the beach. Welcome, Doc. This is a this is a long introduction, but you
Thank
know
you.
what? It's worth it because it tells who you are exactly. Welcome, welcome. Can you introduce yourself again and tell us about who you are? I gave everyone the who you are here, but you can give us a little bit more about yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking that time to share that information because, as you said, it does say who I am to a certain extent. It said what I am being with who I am. I believe that all humans have to have the wherewithal to be within the earth. And so that's who I am. I like to be. I like to make something happen. And when I make something happen, I mostly make it happen for other people who may have some difficulties and challenges in life, which is everybody actually. However, there are some of us who have had more difficulties and more challenges, and we may not know how to bounce back from it. So I am someone who has been what I believe gifted to help others to be resilient, to tell their story, the story of resilience, to live out their story of resilience. And that's who I am at the core.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Bullock, because today, tell us about your title and why you chose the title to be here today.
The title Tools for Everyday Living, it actually comes from my actual show that I did. I had a show on a network, but that didn't, it for about 2 years. And it showed me that I was capable of actually sitting behind a camera and talking to the world. And we need tools. Like when the plumber shows up at your house, they come with tools. They don't come empty-handed. They may not use that what they have. They may have to go back and get something else. And that's life too. We have to go back and get something else every now and then when we choose to grow. Because when we choose to grow, then that means we're going to need some more fertilizer. We're going to have to go back and, now I'm talking garden stuff, agriculture, thinking about growing a plant. When we want to grow ourselves, we have to go back every year, every season, and get what is needed to function effectively. So we need tools. We need life tools.
Yes, yes, yes. So let me ask you a question. What are some of the most common challenges individuals face in their daily routines?
The challenges that we have every day, I believe, mostly adaptability and flexibility. Those are challenges that most humans have because we don't want to change. We want to stay the same. Even though life might throw something at you that's going to cause you to change, the difficulty comes in when it's like, how am I going to adapt to this? How am I going to, when I got out the military, you said 18 years, I was 2 years shy of retirement because of an injury. I could no longer walk. I could no longer carry a rucksack. I could no longer fire a weapon. That meant regardless of whether me working in the dental field or not, you can't be a soldier no more. So now I have to adapt to my new lifestyle of no longer wearing a uniform, no longer having a job, and after 18 years, you got the same job. I'm gonna have to find a way to adjust to still be living an effective life, living a life that is of good quality. Now we can make choices every day and say, you know what, I'm gonna just lay here and do nothing, but that's not going to be helpful at all.
Understand that very much so. Well, this is you. You were in the military for quite some time. You spent 18 years, and I know you went to war. You went to different countries. You've seen things that some of us with the naked eye, or some of us who have never been to the military, have never seen before. You have stories to tell. Can you give us some kind of inspiration and insight of your journey during the time when you were in the military? Because in this podcast, The Missing Piece, we are talking about ways of resilience and how you were able to manage your life during those difficult times.
Absolutely. So the first thing that popped in my mind was when I was living in Egypt, foreign country. Now I am facing the possibility of not walking again because of a vehicle accident. And
Uh-huh.
my first inclination was to be mad because it was
Mhm.
something that happened that wasn't even my fault. I was not driving. I was a passenger. And so you think, wow, what were you doing knowing that you have people in the back of this vehicle, no seat belts, and the driver hit something with the back tire, and when he hit that with the back tire, everything in the back, it went up in the air. I happened to be one of those in the back and went up in the air and came back down on a metal floor from head to toe. And, just laying there, not knowing whether or not I'm going to be able to function again in life is scary. They putting this monkey board on you. They putting this collar around your neck. They're telling you don't, stay still in one spot. People holding my feet, people holding my arms, my shoulders so that I won't move unintentionally because they didn't know whether or not it was going to make the injury worse. And so here I am now. Well, fast forward 5 years later, once I go through rehab, what's this thing called physical therapy, all that stuff. 5 years later, my legs just say, nope, we're not going to do this anymore. And this pain shoots through my body as I walked about 20 yards and just sat right in the middle of the dental clinic that I was in charge of and never was able to go back. That right there made me have to readjust life completely. I couldn't even go to Walmart without riding in one of those little buggies because of and it wasn't that my legs wouldn't work, it was just the excruciating pain in my spine that my body said, "Nope, I'm not doing this." But I had at the time to figure out life. What was Stacey gonna do now? And literally, I'm going to say that pain pushed me into purpose. And I don't want to get too far away from your question. If I'm getting off track, let me know.
Like I said, anything is everything here. Because what I may be looking for, it's not what the audience will hear. Because whatever you say might have some kind of inspirational word in it that will captivate someone out there.
Yes.
So whatever you say, it's fine. There is no wrong or right answer. We are only talking like when we are in the lunchroom.
Yes. We had great conversations in the lunchroom.
Exactly. That's what we are talking about. How we navigated life, what life um, held for us as individual, as women, as we
Mhm.
we were all there. We have like about 10 men in the whole group and
Uh,
over 200 or more women. But like I said, when I spoke to, I may have said this to you as well. Every woman that went on the stage that I listened to, regardless of what they're saying, regardless of our accents,
mhm. Mhm.
and some of the difficulty to understand some words that we have spoken, we spoke on that day, there is something that we pick out of it.
Yes.
Something is there that is valuable that we walk away from during that time. And that's what we are talking. That's, so there is no wrong or right answer. You can go off on a tangent. That's fine. We're here. We're conversing. Talk to me about your
Yeah. So I'm just figuring, looking at this one particular day and after the accident, and my son and I, and at the time, I think he was probably about 14. So we were in a store because he needed some tennis shoes. And I was in so much pain that I felt bad because I could not stay at that store and endure the pain anymore for him to get his shoes. Because when I did get home, I literally had to be picked up and carried up the stairs in my own home, which that was a first for me too. I thought, wow, this is not how I want this to go. Here I am abruptly out the military. I am someone who, as you read, and it's absolutely true, I am an igniter. And I had to figure out how to ignite myself out of, we all sometimes, we have moments where we need somebody to come in and ignite, put some fire to us. Just like when they come and turn your gas on, if the goes out, that man, that woman, person comes to your house with that little stick and one little click, and it ignites and turns the fire on. But guess what? It heats the entire house, not just that
cooks
one.
the food.
Yes, yes, not just that one little area, so I needed that in my life and how it happened for me. And I still to this day do not remember where this chaplain came from. I don't even remember where I was when this man said, hey, at the time he said, do you all, because I was with my husband then, and said, do you all want to be mentors? Okay, sure, yes. I had no idea what I was getting ready to do with my life. So when he asked that question, because I was doing nothing but waddling in pain, I'm thinking, this has got to change me. Something has got to happen. That was my igniter. And mentors at a detention center in Anne Arundel County, Maryland. And that turned into full-fledged purpose, starting out with the women who were incarcerated. We began a halfway house in our house through a question that I asked the ladies, why y'all keep coming back? And so they said they didn't have anywhere to go outside of where they were when they first got incarcerated. So me being an igniter, I wanted to, well, put it this way, me then being ignited and not even knowing it to the full extent that I know now put me in a position where I could make room for them in my own house. We needed a fairly big house, because actually, now that I think about it, I was mentoring before we moved to that house. I just had not thought to ask that question. But we had one woman that was already living in our 3-bedroom apartment with us, because here I was abruptly discharged from the military. I could still drive. I just couldn't stand up for a long time after, and so I don't even know how to tell you when that pain left, because it still shows up every now and then, just not as bad. But now I have a different mindset when it comes to it.
I did not see that pain on you running through the buses and trains in Paris.
Most people will never know. One thing, just like you're doing right now, and what attracted us to each other, I said, if you keep smiling, people will never know what you're thinking.
And that's exactly what I say. Until I tell someone that I am an amputee, they don't know that I am an amputee. They don't even see it, because I don't, people talk to you when you give them eye contact. They don't talk to you and looking about your physical inability, if I could say that. Because, like someone said, I think there was a lady who said, her daughter breaks a nail and she, oh my God, my nail break, at the conference. And my daughter does the same thing. I related so much with what she was saying at the time. My daughter does the same thing to me. Oh, mom, I get my nail. And I'm not going to go out with my nail nuts being all right and I have to go to the nail salon. I said to her, nobody's looking at you, baby girl. A lot of people are going through their daily life because they have we are walking with a smiling face, but majority of us have things on our mind that we are focused on, that we're not even looking at the deformity or the little mishap on someone's physical being. So, like you said, we did, unless you tell us that you were in pain or you have the incapability of not walking too far, we would not have known that because you were doing quite well.
And I'm grateful that I'm doing much better than I was back then, and for several reasons. Now I do life a little different. I don't eat a lot of the stuff that could possibly cause inflammation. I'm not saying everybody else can't eat it. I just know stuff that I can't eat and things that I have to make the adjustments and adapt to this lifestyle of helping my body, helping it not to be in pain. And because I won't say the organization, but people will probably figure it out because I said I was in the military, but I could probably get a lot of narcotics if I chose that route. But I don't want to choose that route to take pain away. I want to use the modalities like you mentioned in my bio. I want to find different modalities, not just for my pain, but just for, and not my pain, it's not mine. Throw that word out. The pain that comes,
We're
yes,
throwing it out. So that's the window.
like, no, this is not mine. I am not making it my own. Have learned how to manage it. It's almost like an emotional intelligence, but let me come back. Let me not get off too far on that. So yeah, I just learned how to do things to make me have a good quality of life. I can go out and I can walk in Paris and I can, yes, I might have to sit down and, take a breather, but you sit down and then you take in the sights, Don't limit yourself.
Not at all. Not at all. Yes, yes, yes. You, I know we've talked a lot. Just give me a background about where you started. And I know we've talked bits and pieces about what you do but just give me just a glimpse, an overview of where you start to where you are right now.
Where I started, like I said, pain pushed me into purpose. Pain pushed me to the jail where I began to mentor the women.
When you said to the jail, is it because and correct me if I'm wrong, you were incarcerated and you find the women in prison, you have that compassion for them to be there, or you just found that compassion and started doing it on your own without being incarcerated or being in prison at one time or another in your life?
No, ma'am, I've never been incarcerated. However, when I'm saying that, I said I've never been incarcerated. No, I've never been incarcerated in a physical prison, but I was incarcerated in my own mind.
That's a good one. I like that.
And
Yes.
yeah, and that came actually after having the mentoring program and stuff, but I'll get to that too. So I met a chaplain after getting out of the military, and he invited myself and my husband at the time to become mentors at the jail. We did. And my compassion that I just have for humanity, period, just happened to pour into this population of, at the time, incarcerated women. We did move on to mentoring men who were incarcerated as well. They just didn't come to our halfway house in our home. So while I was mentoring them, I kept seeing this revolving door. They call that recidivism. So I'm thinking, well, what can I do to stop this? And I asked the question, why do you keep coming back? Because, if they like it, then there's nothing that anybody can really do until they change their mind. So that's actually why I was there too. As an igniter, I help people change their mindset. So I was there mentoring these women, not only helping them change their mindset, but my mindset was changing at the same time. Because now I'm thinking, oh, I can probably do more than just drive here every Tuesday and Thursday and teach a 1-hour class, even though some of my 1-hour classes turned into 8-hour group counselings. And I said at the time to my husband, hey, we have this 1,100 square foot basement with nobody in it. Can we put some people in there? I think we could, put about 6 women down there and have, get some beds and some lockers to give privacy. And he said, sure. And there we were off to Ordered Steps Discipleship Training Center to begin with.
Were the women living there, or they were just coming and going? Because these are incarcerated women who were at the verge of leaving the prison system to go home. That's what you were dealing with.
Well, we actually worked with them 4 to 6 weeks before they got out, and they came to our house to live with us for 1 year. Yes, they lived. So we took that 1,100 square foot basement, and if anybody knows East Coast, Maryland area, the basements can be elaborate sometimes. Ours wasn't elaborate, but it was definitely in great living condition. And so
I live in the East Coast. I'm talking to you right now in my basement, and my basement is not as elaborate as you're talking about, but I have been to homes where the basements can house a whole family plus more.
yes, for sure, for sure. So we transitioned our home, and actually we transitioned it for our son as well, but we had a workout equipment room in our dining room. Our living room became the dining room because somebody donated us a table that sat 20 people. We had a full-fledged conference room table in our living room. We had a family room as well. This is, like I said, the 1,100 square foot of the house was only half of the size of the actual house. So there was a family room, and then there were 4 bedrooms upstairs of pretty large size. So we were fortunate to be able to have that space and be able to offer a safe space to the women. And life happened, and divorce came along, and so 3 years later we closed down that part of the program. After that, I was not lost for about 6 years, but regrouping again, being resilient again, having to now ignite my own fire again to bounce back, to come back from divorce. It's hard. I'm not going to say divorce is easy. It's hard.
That's what I heard. A few of my friends or acquaintances who have gone through divorce told me that divorce is not easy. They said it's really, really hard. A few of them describe divorce as death in their lives. And I have not gone through that, so I cannot say anything about divorces. But let's talk about you being incarcerated in your own mind. I would like to hear that. Is that your missing piece?
Yes, ma'am. And that is where we are right at that point of talking about that, because when the marriage dissolved, at that time, I thought I was one thing, but I had to find out that I was more than just that one. No, I should those few things: a mother, a mentor, a wife, a teacher. I was more than that. I actually was someone who now understands that I am a leader, that I don't have to. While I was married, I actually suppressed Stacey because I felt that I had to, and I'll just say it out, for religious reasons and being incarcerated in my mind by religion. Don't get me wrong, I love God, but it's
But you're a minister
yes,
anyway.
yes, I am. I am. And I will say that religion will put you in a box and will put you in bondage and make you feel like that word submission, when you don't understand it, will make you feel as if you give up yourself. You don't have to give up yourself. I could still be the woman that I am today, but I didn't know that back then. So I was incarcerated in my own mind. I was telling myself, not verbally even ever saying it, you can't and you won't. And all of those things that come along with that. And then I begin to push myself down and believe that the other person was the one that is gifted to teach, should run things, should manage the entire organization of the household. Not true. Not true. You should have your thing, even if when I was writing a book, my first book, I wrote it while I was married and wanting to commit suicide all at the same time
I'm like,
because I was incarcerated in my mind. And my second book I wrote is called Don't Let Your Brain Go Numb: Regaining Power Through Resilience. I was numb. I numbed myself to anything. I wasn't happy. I wasn't sad. I wasn't mad. I wasn't glad. I was just numb. Nothing had an effect on me. So me suppressing me made me numb. And then I had to go through these gyrations of life. I said, divorce freed me to be me. And because I had to do it for Stacey, and then Stacey coming into the realization of understanding who I am as a beings make stuff happen. Beings, you get to see the result of who they are by what they do. It wasn't, it had something changed in me where I said, you know what, I can get out. I can write more books. I can. I wrote that one under almost duress some days, but I am so glad that even the pain from divorce, the pain from the reasons for divorce ignited me. I had to allow it. Now I went to counseling. Sometimes we need a little help. We need a little therapy every now and then to get us moving in the right direction. And that is what I wanted to do. I wanted to move in the right direction. I wanted to no longer be incarcerated in my own mind. That was a choice.
wow, that's a mouth, that's really a mouthful of information, being incarcerated in your own mind. You throwing out words then today that I never used for myself, but it gives me a lot of things to think about. How we are incarcerated in our own mind, how we should ignite our life differently. You incarcerate and then you find that what you call it, the lighter to ignite your life again. Did the incarcerated individuals in your home brought pressure into your marriage?
Say they did. I believe the perception of what they did bring to the house gave it a misskew. And I will be perfectly honest and say, and I'm sure that my ex-husband wouldn't mind me saying this and he would agree, that we were both broken when we got into marriage. So we can't expect to have two broken pieces and make a whole. That doesn't happen, party question marriage. So anything that put pressure on something that is already broken is going to weaken it, if not crack it. And there were some things that came along with that ministry that cracked us, and along with the other things that we had not, things we had. For myself, I'm only going to speak for me now, myself, of not being self-aware, having low self-esteem. Oh gosh, what else can I say? The chronic pain. Chronic pain will do a doozy on your mind.
Again, I bring this up as I talk because as a woman of a certain age, as Wendy Williams will say, there is so many, we come across people who go through a lot of pain. And the person told me that it takes away the quality of life in the individual. Because even though you're smiling, like you said, you dress up, you look good, but that pain, and again, sometimes the pain cannot be physical. The pain can also be something that you're going through as individual, broken. It does, regardless of how you look in the outside, the outputs, you you're broken within. You cannot live the life that you aspired yourself to be. So are you now at the pinnacle of saying that you have got to that point of living that life now? Or are you, let me ask this question, are you married again? Or are you just by yourself, living your best life and being a writer, being a speaker, being who you are at this moment?
I am happily and peacefully single. However, nobody wants to stay alone for the duration of their life. People may say that, or women, let me speak for women, because I've heard way too many women say, I don't need a man. Yes, you do. You will you,
Hey, like I said, I've heard that before. I
yeah,
don't need a man.
yes, you
Uh,
do. You were created to need one. So that's such a huge misnomer. Now, what we do need is the man that's for us, for you, for me, for myself and my ex. We think different now. He's on his plight to living his best life. I'm on mine. And we get along well when we're not trying to be in a relationship, because some of our viewpoints are not the same. But did we take the time to discuss that when we met? And actually, we had actually met in the 4th grade, but we were reintroduced years later. And we would absolutely say no now, because we don't walk in the same path anymore, which is fine. Hey, long as you out here living your best life and not hurting anyone and especially yourself, do your thing. Because I'm going to do my thing. Now that I have had this awakening, using my conscious efforts every day to continually grow into being this person. You mentioned the word pinnacle, which is one of my favorite words. And that just, we get to this highest point. And in the psychology realm, we call this thing self-actualization. Which
yes.
and it get to the top. But I believe that we have multiple self-actualizations as we continue on this journey, because just like with the missing piece and your walk, the things that you're doing for your foundation, you started at one point. You didn't start at a 5K walk. You probably, you might not have had a walk at all. And then, one day it was like, we should have a walk. Yes, absolutely. As a fundraiser. And that's growth. That's us getting to another place of self-actualization of
Yes.
who we are as ourselves. So I did not start out speaking on podcasts. I didn't start speaking out in front of people for a very long time after I was writing for some time. That piece came later. The Tools for Everyday Living TV show came later, came from an interview. And it just kept growing. And so I think that's where we should look at, that we are having multiple pinnacle points in life.
Wow. Yes, 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 yes. You know, you just lost me in some of your conversation.
It's okay. When you say lost, please let me know if you want me to explain something or you were
No,
engrossed
when
in
I
what
said
I
I
was.
am lost in my thought because you're
Mm,
giving me so much information that I'm overthinking about
mm,
myself, my life. What brought me to this moment that I am at right now.
mhm.
That's when I said, I'm not lost in the conversation of what you're saying. I'm just absorbing it.
That's
You
awesome.
know, I just embed myself more and more. And you can see as you're talking, I am leaning like I'm leaning in to hear more of what you're saying because you're saying everything that resonates so much, not just to me, but also to my audience that are
Yes,
going to listen to us
yes,
speaking
yes.
because we don't know how many people listen to us because n- uh, I listen to a lot of things that I don't click like or subscribe to, but I do listen to them. And the algorithm in the social media, I found out that a lot of people listen to things without clicking. So even once you click on it, the algorithm picks it up,
Yes. Yeah.
knowing that someone clicked on the video. But you are saying so many things that everyone wants to hear. Everyone. So when did you become an ordained minister?
I can't, oh gosh, I don't even know what year that was. But oddly enough, my ex and I were ordained several times together. We start. So what year was that? I think 2000. 2000. Yes, now I remember clearly. So 2000 we were ordained first as deacons, and then I always say, I make a joke of it. I was ordained 4 times. I said, well, I guess it didn't stick the first couple of times. Just joking. But we were ordained at different levels. That's what I'll say. We were ordained as deacons, and then as elders, and then he was ordained as a pastor, and I was ordained as an evangelist. So, and that all happened not in 2000, but from 2000 to 2000 to 2003.
Okay.
Yes.
So are you still you talk about faith a little bit. We're not gonna go there deeply because I don't talk about religion in my podcast.
Mhm,
Politics and religion are out
mhm.
of this podcast. But I just want to ask you, are you still a believer, but are you still involved in a church?
We just started going back to a church here in Texas. I moved here 2 years ago. Just as I would make comments most of the time, I said, I'm just getting my sea legs on year 3. And now just getting out into the community more. I actually started a small group facilitation last Tuesday for a men's group who for substance abuse problems. I started back going to church. Now, whether I will stay there permanently, I'm gonna say no. And that's the reason I believe the last time I got ordained, they got it right, because the evangelist does not stay put. I'm not one of those people. I can't be put in a box. I never lived in a box. I don't know what the box is. I've always lived outside of the normal of what somebody may believe should be a certain way. I'll just put it that way. And so I'm pretty free. Actually, you met my counterpart that was with me in Paris, Anita.
We still communicate.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's
Yes,
right.
because for some reason, Anita got fascinated with my daughter.
Yes. She is an igniter of a lot, but young people, She is really like motivated to want to encourage them to do what they do, be who you are. You know, don't let society tell you who you should be or how you should do it. She is the biggest heart, but she's
I could tell from her writing, she is somebody that I'm gonna write her to see whether she can come on here.
yes, yes. So she said to me one time we were having a conversation and it was regarding a gentleman and she said you might be too free for him.
You don't like to be in the bar?
Not at all. No.
The bar is not for you. If
Uh-uh.
it does not want to have a woman who has their own opinion, their own free will that could pick up and do things for themselves. You
Might get a little
have to,
sticky.
someone with an open mind.
Yes, for sure, you know, so it's interesting that role because I don't see it as a role of I have to be in a particular space to, I'll just say love on people because I believe that's what I'm obligated to do.
Okay.
When I went to the jail, my thing was, you know, you have people that will come and sit in your class and they'll do it for various reasons, like they have to show up to get a good point for parole or probation or something, whatever the case is. And they don't really want to be there. And they kind of make that known by their facial expression or their body language. And excuse me, I always said, if I was afraid of you, I wouldn't be here for one. For two, I'm obligated to come here because I'm going to just love the hell right out of you. And that's my obligation to humanity is to love. That's,
Yes.
you know, forget anything else. I am here to love through my gifts that I've been given. And one of them is to teach, to write, to speak. I used to have my report cards when I was growing up in school. They would always say she talked too much. She talked too much. And in DC, we call that the gift of gab. A lot of people probably call it that as well in other regions, but I was born in the DMV, so that's what I know most.
DMD in the house.
Yes, yes, yes.
I
So
have a lot of friends in the DMV, so they would love to hear that someone from their neck of the wood.
yes, yes. So, you know, it's like, yes. So we got that gift of gab, but I didn't always use it in the right way. So I could tell you a story. I could probably sell you some ice in Alaska, which is I lived there for 5 years, so I know a little something about the cold. But I can spin a story on you quick. But now I have definitely in connection with who I am. I believe wholeheartedly that I am here to use my voice to ignite somebody else, to use their voice, to use their gift, to be. Most of us are walking around just human. That's not enough. We have two titles. We're called a human being, which is clearly an action word.
Human and being.
Yes, yes. We find ourselves in these places of complacency when we're just human. When we're just human, yes, we go to work every day. We do what society has dictated for us to do. Go to work every day, retire, get old, and go sit down on a porch. Well, I'm going to retire in 5 months. I guarantee you.
Yeah. Let the drum roll.
Yes, yes. So I guarantee you the only time I will be sitting on my back porch, which actually is often now, I sit on my back porch every day to regroup. I have some beautiful trees in the back. Even when they're not full of leaves, they still give me the awareness to know you might have lost your leaves now for this season, but they're going to grow back.
Yes. And it's such an important statement You might lost your leaves for the season, but they will go back. As a nonprofit organization founder, I realized that people come and go in the organization. Sometimes you lost that leaf that you think is the most beautiful leaf that is hanging on the tree. But maybe when that leaf fall down and die off, the one that is coming next might be much beautifuler than the one that was there before that you don't want to lose, that you tell everybody about. And that's what I am finding out, because some days you get so deflated, so discouraged, saying that I'm working hard, but things are not going the way I want them to do. And you have said so many things that ignite my thought process a lot, because, I am sitting here thinking about how other women can be ignited, how other people can be ignited. Because the Missing Peace podcast is not just for amputees. I will tell you that most of the people who did my survey when I was trying to get this podcast going, when I had the survey to get my target audience, 95% were not amputees. They're people who, you know, quote unquote normal, because nobody is normal in life, because we all have physical missing pieces that we cannot even collect in our lives. Some people are so broken into so many pieces. Like you said, we all dress up, we are smiling, we're laughing, but if you tap into that individual, they might just break down. And you can understand that this world, not all that glitters is gold.
Got that right. Got that right. Look, I'm gonna hold up this ring actually. Gold plated.
Exactly, gold plated. Well, Dr. Bullock, I don't want to hold you too long, because this is Saturday. This is noon time. You already dressed up. I know you're not gonna. Once you leave your friend's house, you might think about, where next am I going from here? What's my next venture for the day? What am I doing? And the same here with me, because once I'm done with this podcast, I'm gonna go out, because I have the 5K coming up on April 18th, which I am going out looking for people to donate or give me gifts that I could auction out for the walk, because this is a fundraising effort to do. So I'm just gonna get up and go and just do my thing. And last, let me just give you one last closing question.
Hold on one second before I forget, and I don't want to forget. I want to put it out there and ignite somebody else to match me about 6, 7 times. So put me down. I'm gonna buy $100 donation towards the.
Thank you so much. You see, thank you so much.
Well,
Wow. Thank you very, very much for your generous donation. Thank you. This is igniting
yes, that's what we
someone's
do.
life,
Yes, that's
because
what we
that's
do.
what we need. That's what we're doing. That's
Yes,
why I am sitting here. I'm working for human beings,
yes, yes.
not just human.
Right.
I'm working for human beings.
Yes. So yeah, so people can, I know you want to ask me one last question, but I'm gonna say this. I used to work for an organization called the National Federation of the Blind. Love that organization. They taught me so much about what it actually looks like having a disability, but still being active in life. I mean, all of the tools necessary. We had a whole full basement. I mean, probably like 4,000 square feet, not a little basement of things that could read the color of the clothes to tell you, speak the time. So there's so many things in place in life for us to have a great quality of life, but it's not free. So y'all donate.
Oh, wow. You know, you know, again, you're in Texas, and I could, because I shipped a 40-foot container to Sierra Leone, because in those places, which if I use the word impoverished, I am using it wrongly, because there are people who are rich in life. They may not have the finance, but they live so simply that they're not in parish at all. They are living a full life. But when you give them something that you think that is meaningless to me or you, they take it up like you're giving them a world of gold. I'm using it in the word gold several times here because they lift it up so high. They are so grateful. They are so appreciative.
Mm-hmm.
They love it. They can do a lot with it. And again, whatever someone could give me, I am so thankful. Very, very thankful for what you can give. Because you said you live out of the Houston area. And instead of me getting those things and bringing them here to New Jersey, I don't know where they are. If they're in Maryland, I could drive to get it.
Yes, 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 yes.
But if they're in Houston, I would rather have them taken from Houston to like places like Sierra Leone and other places. Because over there you have the community of people, even amputees who are community of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you give them things, they are jumping for joy, in happiness, in gladness, in saying thank you
Right.
for what we're doing for them. Well, what do you want to tell my audience in closing? How do you want to give them the tool of living every day and in their missing pieces or in their missing, let me use the word, in their missing piece? How do you want them to bring that missing piece together as a tool?
That one, I felt that like deep down in my belly. So let's see here, because there's so much. There's so much. But what I want people to always, always remember: never give up. You might get tired, worn out. Take a nap. Yep, lay down, rest, take a nap. Do not allow situations to incarcerate your mind.
Huh?
Do not allow a situation to hold you hostage to it. You're not a hostage to that situation. The situation has come, it will go. Don't give your whole life to it. I'll say that. Yes, we have to deal with stuff. I'm not saying to try to avoid anything. Deal with it. And if your way of dealing with it for the moment is first thing you need to do, let me give you some steps. This is what I want to end with. Let me give you some steps. When
Yes.
stuff happens, first
Uh-huh.
thing you do is just stop. Stop. Take a deep breath. Remain calm, because outside of that, you can't hear instructions. So that's why we can't allow our mind to swirl. We can't allow our mind to be locked into that particular situation. We have to allow our mind to be calm and open enough to hear the next instructions, because they will come, but we have to be willing to hear it. It may not be what you think. It may not be what you like. It may not make you feel great, but you will have to do some hard things. But it's okay. It's okay. That hard thing is going to strengthen your resilience. It's going to strengthen who you are, so that the next time something shows up to try to, I played Pat Benatar when I was speaking, hit me with your best shot. So when something comes again to try to hit you with with their best shot, you will be strong enough to withstand it and not crumble and keep going.
Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Bulluck.
So welcome.
Thank you.
My pleasure. This was
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you very, very much. It's such a wonderful, wonderful inspiration, pleasure, and gladness in my heart to have you here today to talk, for you to talk to us at the missing piece. But remember the story of resilience and the voices of hope. You talk about your resilience and your voice. Continue to use it. Continue to be resilient. And let's continue to inspire others to ignite those resilience within them because we all have it.
Yes,
We cannot suppress those resilience. We have to bring it up in our lives and say
absolutely.
we can do it. So thank you. It's a pleasure. And
Thank you.
thank you.
Welcome to Power and Resilience. I'm Stacey Bulluck, and I'm committed to waking your power to bounce back quickly from life's challenges. I've learned there is power in resilience.
Thanks for tuning in into The Missing Piece. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and leave a review. Your support helps us reach more listeners and amplify more voices. Until next time, keep finding strength in your story.